What is going on, good people? I appreciate that you are alive. Thing that they put on the front of the screen so I know when I was live because I was kind of concerned. It's been a minute since we did this whole thing, so I'm like, how am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know? But anyway, we are back once again. Took us a minute to get back, but we're back. This time with a little bit of football with the playoffs and whatnot. Been crazy. I think the last time we did a video, the Colts were cruising at the time, and Casey was surprised. And then the Colts ended up being what Casey thought the Colts were going to be by the end of the season. I think at the last time we did a video, the Ravens were in what? Did we just lose the Browns? Was that the game? Was that when the last time we did a video? Probably was.
Week 1 predictions.
We only did one? Oh.
That was one. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
I think we only did 1 week.
We did more than one because the reason I think that,
week 3 maybe.
Yeah, we did something because it was a while ago, but I remember us doing some sort of predictions in the season because I was talking to Casey and I was like, "Are you surprised at how the Colts are?" And then I can't remember if we had lost to the Browns by then or not. I think we were about to play the Browns, maybe that's where we were. But anyway, nonetheless, skip ahead to the playoffs that we just had. Obviously, we had the 4 teams on the first round bye, so we'll talk about them in the little bit later in the video. I guess first, let's talk about any surprises. Were you guys surprised by the way the playoffs were basically set up? So, like some of the teams that got in, and then we'll kind of talk about the results of the games. Any teams that like surprised you that they got into the playoffs in the first place? I mean, besides the Chiefs, I know that's always kind of. Casey, were you surprised by any of the teams that were in the playoffs? I was kind of surprised at the Titans because the Jaguars looked so good earlier in the season, and then the Colts kind of they started to get their rhythm going, and then out of nowhere the Titans came and beat the Patriots on top of that. So it was like, whoa.
I mean, I was surprised that like the Bills made it to the wild card. Not because they're a bad team in general, just because I feel like the Bills aren't a team that you think of making it to the playoffs anymore. Like they used to be, like early 90s, they were really good. And then, the past like 20 years, they ain't been so good. So that was cool, at least seeing them make it to the wild card. I wish they had beaten the Texans, but it was a close game, so it could have been a blowout, but luckily it wasn't. The Vikings also, although I feel like they've been a lot better this season, so I'm definitely happy they made it. I'm still I'm super happy, and like everyone knows this, but I'm still surprised the Titans beat the Patriots.
Yeah. I mean, I think with that game, and I guess that's what we'll jump into kind of first. Justin, if you have any surprises, just throw them in as we're talking about this game. I think as far as surprises, and then I'll get into your little, the Titans and the Patriots. I think the most surprising was the Eagles because you didn't know who was coming out of the NFC East.
Yeah.
Like the whole year, it's like it felt like it was Dallas's to lose, and of course, what do? They lose it. So it was Dallas's to lose. I still think Dak Prescott deserves to get paid. If Dallas doesn't pay him, somebody's going to because I don't think it's been really all his fault. I think they have all the talent in the world. I just think it was probably coaching for them more than anything. So the Eagles were kind of one of my biggest surprises in terms of getting into the playoffs. And it was kind of surprising to see the Patriots play on Wild Card Weekend. That was kind of the one of the more surprising things because the first round bye was theirs to lose from the time they were the number 1 seed, and usually they don't lose it. So from the time they were the number 1 seed to the time they got tied with us and went to 2, and then the time they lost to the Dolphins, a week ago.
And then when they lost to the Chiefs also,
so like they went on this streak where, and I think it was interesting with the Patriots because there's always been, Brady's falling off a cliff, and he's not as good as he used to be, blah 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 blah. But then they somehow turn around, and maybe that was
once they get into the playoffs, like they turn it around.
It's almost like the bye was the biggest thing for them because they could reevaluate and figure out what they want to do. But then this year, it just felt like even if they got the bye, they still felt like they looked terrible. They still felt like they didn't look like the same team that we've seen win 6 Super Bowls over the past 20 years. Like they didn't seem like any of those teams. Even last year's team where it felt like they struggled, but then when they got in the playoffs, they just turned it on. Yes, Casey.
I mean, like I don't want to rub it into like Patriots fans because like
it's all right. You can do. They have 6 rings. You can do that. Rub it into.
Y'all suck, but like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I just heard this. I didn't actually watch the whole game. Didn't Tom Brady throw a pick 6 to end the game?
I mean, and I think Patriots fans will probably say, we still got 6 Super Bowls in 20 years. Like, what more can we say? So I'm not sticking up for them because they're obnoxious as they can get. But nonetheless, I feel like I don't know. I have at first I was as much of a Brady hater as probably Casey is. Maybe probably a little less. I don't know if anybody gets up there with where Casey is, but I got to the point where I started to respect him a little bit more once he started winning and winning and winning and winning. I was like, okay, I can't deny the greatness anymore. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. He's gonna be probably forever. Unless my guy or Mahomes do something out here and does some craziness over the next 15 to 20 years.
But like for me, like yeah, like obviously I've never been a Tom Brady fan. And I will admit he is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I will not say he is the greatest of all time.
Who is the greatest then, Casey? Just out of curiosity. No?
Peyton Manning. But no. One of my issues is like with him with like hoping that he retires is like it's kind of the same with like when we talk about WWE videos or WWE videos that we do when we talk about the world title. When you have the same person, and that spot for 20 years, it doesn't give other people the opportunity to get to that spot.
Yeah.
Like I would like to see, somebody else be able to take that spot and be the starting quarterback for the Patriots. It's just like you can't build your franchise anymore until you start to like give people opportunities. And I feel like the Patriots are slowly getting to that point because they rely on all of these like same players for so long. And it's like, they lost Gronk and then, if he doesn't retire this year, I'm pretty sure Tom Brady is going to retire soon. He's getting up there.
Well, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and we kind of were discussing this. It's interesting how all the quarterbacks that we put in that greatest conversation have all played for multiple teams. So even as good as they were, he may just have to bite the bullet and do what all the other greats had to do, and play for another team. Peyton played for another team. Joe Montana played for another team. Even Steve Young played for multiple teams. Like these great quarterbacks end up playing for multiple teams just because after a while, father time catches up, and then sometimes they defy father time for a year or two. Brett Favre was another one that played for different teams.
Yes.
So I mean, I think whatever his future is, I mean, I would in a way, I would have rather if he was going to hang it up, I would have rather him done it last year because I don't think Brady, as good as he is going to go out on a pick 6. I really don't. I think he's going to either go out playing for somebody else or he's going to go out the way he wants to go out. And I don't think throwing a pick 6 is the way he wants to do it.
If he goes somewhere else, where do you think he will go?
A lot of people are saying LA. I think they're
which LA though? Not the Chargers. You think he will go Chargers?
I think it's possible. It might be. Yeah. Well, because what's happening is Philip Rivers is throwing pick after pick after pick, so he might not even last this year, and I think he's a free agent too. So I've heard they may switch places. So Philip Rivers goes to New England, they go to he goes to LA.
What I would like to see, like ideally, what I would like to see, if he does leave the Patriots and he still wants to play like 1 or 2 more seasons or whatever with another team. And also I did see rumors that Bill Belichick's contract with the Patriots might be coming up too. If those two things are the case, I would love to see Tom Brady go to a team that has an already young starting quarterback to like mentor him, to help, and like not necessarily to replace, but like to give that insight. And also with Bill Belichick, I can't deny that he is one of the best quarterback or coaches the NFL has ever had. Because even before that, he was good with the teams that he was with before. I would love to see him go back to the Browns because originally he was the Browns head coach before they disbanded in the '95 season and then came back later. I would love to see him go to a team that really needs a good, coaching staff and like a revamp that, needs that comeback.
Yeah, I think so too. It will be it's gonna be interesting. Like you said, I hope he almost serves as a mentor, even as maybe a starting mentor for somebody. Maybe for one of those quarterbacks who like I would like to see him help out like a guy like Josh Rosen, who's in like the crappiest situation he can be in, probably has all the potential in the world, but they're not going to give him a chance because the Dolphins don't exist. But anyway, I just think like it's hard, and I think it's going to be hard because I don't see anybody signing Tom Brady and then sitting whoever they're starting now to make that kind of mentorship happen. I think what would probably have to happen is they'd have to sign Tom Brady, knowing that it would be in the short term. Obviously, he's 42 now. Knowing it would be in the short term, and then drafting somebody high or low, whatever you got to do. Preferably probably for them high, kind of like Mahomes, and let them sit for a year or two and then learn from him. And even if it's less mechanics and more mental, because there's a lot, because Tom Brady has this knack to say, I remember one of his favorite quotes that I heard actually was from a Patriots fan, is he was like, somebody was upset because they wouldn't get to play in the Pro Bowl because obviously they were going to the Super Bowl that year, and he was like, "What do you think we play this for? Pro Bowls?" So like just to have that kind of mental edge over everybody else, I think that would be good for a young quarterback to learn. I would like a guy like Baker Mayfield to learn it because Baker Mayfield is a guy who was overlooked and has been overlooked, even though he was the number one pick. He was the number one pick for the Browns, but he still has this little chip on his shoulder. And I think if he could get the mental aspect of the game right, I think Baker will be great because I love Baker Mayfield. But anyway, Justin, do you have anything to say before we kind of give a little recap? Oh, I didn't know I could show comments. What's up?
I didn't know I could do that either.
What's up,
man? What it do, baby?
What it do, baby?
No, I don't really. You guys touched on basically everything there. I mean, no.
So let's jump a little bit into these games we got. We just had wrap up today, and we just had wrap up yesterday, and then we'll jump into the next round and kind of maybe give our a little bit late Super Bowl predictions, but we'll still give them anyway. So the Texans getting their first win against their first playoff win, Deshaun Watson's first playoff win, Bill O'Brien's first playoff win against the Bills, which extends the Bills' streak of not getting a win in the playoffs, but does end the streak for the Texans. I was happy about that because I've always been a big Deshaun Watson guy, and it seems like for whatever reason the playoffs has kind of been his issue for a while. So I'm glad that he was able to get his first win. In terms of, I think the shocker of the week, if not, I mean it's got to be one of these two games. It's probably the Titans, and the Patriots though, because the Titans coming in as a 6th seed. Were they a 6th seed?
Yeah, they're a 6th.
Yeah, the Titans coming in as a 6th seed. was surprising anyway because you didn't know who was going to take that 6 seed, home. But then they come in and just run over the Patriots and end up getting the win against the Patriots, a team that everybody's like, well, they're going to make it past Wild Card Weekend. That's what they do. And then to the NFC with the Vikings and the Saints, another one that was pretty surprising was the Saints losing in the first round because they played so well. Even without Drew Brees, they played so well. Another guy who probably deserves to get a starting job again is Teddy Bridgewater. He came in and was 5-0 for them and whatnot. So he deserves to get a starting role. And I think after a while, after a year or two, people are going to see that Taysom Hill deserves to get a starting role the way he's playing, throwing the ball and his ability to run with the football. And then with the Seahawks and the Eagles, this one was kind of the one that we were kind of like, yeah, this is the expected because the Eagles come in as banged up as you possibly can and somehow, sneak into the playoffs and get to host the game. And then and we'll talk about that a little bit too. We'll touch on that a little bit. But the Seahawks end up coming out here and getting the win against a banged up Eagles team. Carson Wentz gets hurt 4 or 5 minutes into the game with a head injury and is out for the game. So you're just like, well, there goes the Eagles. There goes the Eagles season, and it kind of sucks for Carson Wentz because it just seems like for whatever reason, it seems like Carson Wentz just can't catch a break. He finally kind of gets back into his rhythm again, and then bam, he's hurt again. And it's like, I think you got a feel for him because I think he's a really good quarterback. I just think injuries are what's plaguing him, which is interesting because he's more of a pocket guy, but he tends to get hurt for whatever reason, and it definitely sucks for him. But nonetheless, I think we got a good divisional round set up. You guys got any thoughts on this? The one thing that I do want to mention real quick is I do think that the NFL should consider having whoever wins the division be the top 4 seeds. I don't care about that, but reseeding it in a way so the division winner should make the playoffs, but reseeding it in a way to where, for example, the Seahawks host this game instead of the Eagles because they have the better record. I think the division should matter. Because, you can't help who you play, but I think at the same time, the Seahawks should have hosted this game against the Eagles just because they had the better record, but the Eagles could still get in the playoffs. That's my thought. But anyway, thoughts on the wild card round or that statement I just made?
Just kind of like I was saying before, I'm a little bit upset that the Bills didn't make it. I think they're one of the teams in the NFL that really finally deserves. Technically they got it a good season, but they deserve to finally, make it past wild card or make it past the first round. Like it feels like every time they've gotten to that point, they were beaten and it was end of the season again. So I would like to see them, maybe next year, make it a little bit farther. I won't talk about the Patriots game again because I won't rub that in anymore. Also, I'm glad the Vikings won. I think right now they're one of my teams. I'm gonna go for. I think. I wanted a Bills Vikings game, but whatever. Can't have that. We can't have nice things like that. And the Eagles Seahawks game, I couldn't care less about. I didn't want either team to win, but that's not possible. You can't do that.
Justin, what are your thoughts on?
I was kind of surprised that the Texans won, because these last few years they've been losing every wild card game. So I was kind of surprised that they broke their losing streak, in the wild card games. But I thought the Bills had it there, right out the gate when they did that with John Brown did that touchdown too.
They had what was it 16-0 or 13-0? I think it was 16.
It was 16. It was 16, and then in the third quarter, Deshaun Watson, he just made that big comeback, which I go right when John Brown made that touchdown, I go you know what, they're this is done for the Texans. Texans aren't coming back, but nah, Deshaun Watson, he kicked it into different gear, and of course, Titans game, that was crazy. They just got gutted like that running game. Like during the whole season, they go like, "Oh yeah, this Chiefs am I Chiefs? Oh, God, I'm talking about my team too much. Sorry. This Patriots defense is real." And they just get gutted in the
This
game.
Colts defense and the Colts offense and the Colts and let's talk about the Colts.
Yeah, so the Patriots, they were supposed to have a great defense, but no, they just got gutted in the running game. And it's like, would you rather be gutted in the running game, or would you rather have a whole bunch of passes around you? What would you rather have? As a defense,
I think it just depends. I think either one is fine as long as you don't let them score. Yards don't matter in a way. I mean, they do, but they don't if you're not letting them score. If they're kicking field goals every time, and that was the bread and butter of the Patriots defense, was they wouldn't let you score. So you can give up yards, but as long as you don't let them score. So I mean, I guess either or. I think more of the splash plays come from passes than they do runs. So I guess I would prefer running. But then again, I mean, the Ravens have the top ranked offense running the ball. So it's hard to say. Like, it's hard to sit here and be like, well.
And then I also was surprised about how the Saints lost. Lost at home also. Like, I wasn't really. I didn't think, because you never know which one to get with the Vikings. 1 week they're going to be good, 1 week they're going to be bad.
I'm glad my guy Kirk Cousins got that big time win though, because this man been getting hated on since he was in Washington, and then stupid Redskins fans decided, oh, let's get rid of him, let's tank, let's go draft. We can draft better than Kirk Cousins. Get out of my freaking face. You're not going to draft better than somebody that's already at least decently established. Not right off the bat. It's going to take time, and then you want to get mad because you drafted, and then it's going to take time to develop them. Stupid.
And then also, I really wasn't surprised about the Seahawks winning. I mean, it was. I mean, everybody and their mother had the Seahawks win them. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, responding to this comment. As far as Tua going top 10 in the draft, it's hard to know if he's going to go top 10 in the draft. I wouldn't be surprised if he slides to maybe even the second round, just because of that injury and people are concerned about it. But I think since he's going to get Joe Burrow, I don't think Carolina's going to go in.
You think Miami will slide up in the draft?
I don't know what Miami's going to do, because I think Miami should draft him pretty high. I mean, if he's going to go in the first round, I think he goes to Miami. I think he goes to Miami. You let him sit for a year, learn under Ryan Fitzpatrick, ironically enough, and then let it be, and then let him come back when he's ready to come back. Do not rush him back. That's what happened to RG3. Do not rush him back. If you rush him back, it's not going to be good. I think that's the biggest thing.
The Dolphins, they got some potential. Like, they have, if they can get everything right, like with their coaching staff,
Ironically enough, the Dolphins have good players, even though they traded away most of their best players.
I mean, years ago they got rid of Jay Ajayi, and then they got rid of Minka Fitzpatrick, and
Kenyon Drake. They got a lot of needs, really. I mean, at the end of the day, they still have talent, but they still need a running back. Obviously they still need a quarterback, and
Devontae Parker, he ain't bad. I mean, so if they get some other pieces around him, I think, and since with the Patriots right now, with the place that they're in right now, that next year the AFC East could be
that might actually be a good one. It would be good for what if Tom Brady went to the Dolphins. They drafted Tua, let Tua sit because obviously he's hurt, and learn from Tom Brady. Different style of quarterbacks, but either way, I mean, Patrick Mahomes in a way is different than Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but nonetheless, to the divisional round, let's start with the Vikings and the Niners. Let's do that. But we're just gonna start on the Saturday window, and we'll start with the Vikings and the Niners. It's actually the 4:30 game. on Saturday. Vikings and the Niners. I think the Niners get the win here, but it would be a big upset for the Vikings if they could get this win. But I just think the Niners are just one of those really, really good teams. Like I got to saw them, I got to see them firsthand. I got to see them firsthand against the Ravens, and they looked good, and they looked good. And I think they're going to continue to do what they do. I think they could be potentially Super Bowl bound. I mean, I think they're that good. I think that defense is that good, and I think they're going to try to rattle Kirk Cousins, as much as you can. And Vikings having to go on the road again, it's always tough as a 6 seed to do what you got to do. But Casey,
I don't know. I feel like I could see the Vikings squeezing out a win here. It's not gonna be a blowout by any means for them, but I think that if they play it right, they can squeeze out with a win. Now, do I think it's gonna happen? I don't know. But I think there's a chance. I'm not gonna completely eliminate them from contention right now, just because the 49ers are okay. I'm not gonna say they're good because I don't like them. But I think the Vikings have a chance, so I'm gonna I'm putting them on upset alert right there. This is my pick for upset alert. But so I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
all right, Justin.
The Vikings aren't winning this game. I mean, the Vikings should have just lost today. I mean, because they're not beating the 49ers. They're just not being the 49ers. That defense is just way too good. I mean, they're just not being the Niners. And they also have to travel to a different time zone, out that jet lag on them, like they just and
I mean, they do got the second. They got the second best tight end in the league. So
they do.
Hold up,
George Kittle from Iowa, baby.
Hold up. What does a time zone have to do with playing football?
It plays a difference. It plays a difference. It can.
Oh no, it's 2
when
o'clock
you go
back
out
home.
way.
I can't play. What?
You can be really tired. You can have that jet lag. It happens.
But jet lag has nothing to do with the time. How do I kick this man out?
All right, Justin said no way. He said no way. We're gonna wait on since we got favorite teams. Since we actually got people's favorite teams in here, we're gonna wait on those 2 games and go to the Seahawks and the Packers because I feel like Casey is like, I don't care about this game. I hope nobody wins. So Seahawks and the Packers. This one's tough because the Seahawks are the greatest 5 seed of all time, right? Like I don't, not really, but like they're like one of the best 5 seeds you could have, and they could definitely beat the Packers. I think the Packers are good, and I like Aaron Rodgers, but everybody knows my true thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. What has he done for me lately? Not much, and I hope it continues because I want to continue to prove my point that Aaron Rodgers is good, but what is he really doing? Like, what is he really doing? So, nonetheless, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here. I think the Seahawks go on the upset, and it would be interesting if the Seahawks and the Vikings advance because the Seahawks would host the game. That as a 5 seed, that would be cool. Would host the conference championship game, but I think the Seahawks get the win. I think Russell Wilson. And my thoughts on this: Russell Wilson is just a better Aaron Rodgers. Like Russell Wilson is a shorter but better Aaron Rodgers. He can make every throw in the book. He can move with the football. The kid is like that. The kid is like that. Give me some reasons why he's not. He's a shorter Aaron Rodgers. He's just as good. Can make every throw. Can throw on the run. Can throw on any platform from any arm angle. The kid is like that. He's just as good as Aaron Rodgers, if not better. He's better than Aaron Rodgers, and that's a hot take. Somebody take this and send this somewhere so they can hear my thoughts. Y'all got thoughts on the thing because y'all looking at me like I'm crazy, but what has Aaron Rodgers done? Honestly, though, tell me what more has Aaron Rodgers done than Russell Wilson? Somebody tell me. Somebody. I'm just curious.
Go ahead, Casey.
Besides be taller. Like, that's about it. Like, what else has he done? So he got genetics on his side, too. Okay. Russ is the underdog. Russ is the little man, bro. The little man. We're probably the same height, bro. Russ is like that. So, Russ is my guy.
I mean, did he learn from one of the greatest of all time, Brett Favre? No.
Everybody say he learned nothing. Sat there and hope Brett Favre retired. He didn't learn nothing.
I'm going. Go, Pat, go. They gonna beat your precious Russell Wilson. He gonna cry like he always does.
I mean, if you say. Anyway, Justin, do you have any thoughts on my comment and also the Seahawks package?
I mean, you're not wrong that he's a little better, but like they're about the same though. I mean, like they haven't won Super Bowls and they haven't won a Super Bowl in a while. I mean, like when's the last time Green Bay won? When's the last time Green Bay won? Tell me, DJ.
What was it? 2012.
2012, yeah, I'm pretty sure. 2012.
It might not have been 2012. I think that's when we won the Super Bowl.
Won 2013.
Was it 2013? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because when the lights went out, yeah.
Oh Lord, don't even remind me, please.
But
that's right, because 2012 we should have freaking been there too. That's right, because the Giants won in 2012. Because we should have been sitting there playing the Giants.
That was the Giants in 2012. That's right. I don't
really care football and Billy Cunningham with a. Oh, sorry.
I don't really care who wins this game here, to be honest. I mean, whoever wins this game is going to be losing to the 49ers. So I don't care who wins this. I'm going to say the Niners.
I'm going
to say Seahawks.
Come on, Justin. The Seahawks have already beat them one time. They can do it again.
I'm going to say Seahawks win.
Okay. Let's move on to the AFC side of things. We got the Texans and the Chiefs. Texans in 3. No. Patrick Mahomes, my home. I'm trying to make a meme, but I can't think of so many words on the fly. But anyway, Texans by 7. No, I'm kidding. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. That's unfortunate because I don't want to see the Chiefs in the conference finals. I know I'm giving up my pick later, obviously, but I don't want. The only team that we haven't beat in the Lamar Jackson era is the freaking Chiefs. The only freaking team. We played them twice. The only freaking team. Like, don't get me wrong. It would be nice to play them and beat them. Play them and beat them. But I'd rather see the Texans. We blew them out last time. I mean, either way, it's going to be tough. I don't care who we play. I mean, shoot. Playing against the Titans is going to be tough. So either way, it's going to be tough. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd rather finally beat the Chiefs or like get another chance at the Texans again. Like what like the Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson rematch. I don't know. But anyway, nonetheless, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs because I just think playing in Arrowhead, toughest place to play, probably in the NFL, if not CenturyLink Field, if not the bank, because they need to give us some respect. Okay. But anyway, Chiefs win this one. We're gonna skip Justin for now and go to Casey so he can say the Texans are gonna win because the Chiefs are. What?
I'm going with Texans 37-3.
You're crazy, bro.
Before we get into Justin's pick here, Eli is a Hall of Famer. It's gonna happen. He is a Hall of Famer, a Hall of Hammer, whatever. Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's the Hall of Famer.
Okay, but like
he fixed it here, about
either way, even if the Chiefs somehow beat the Texans, they're still gonna choke because that's what they do.
Whoa.
You know, last if we never had the offsides last year, we would have been going to the Super Bowl.
When is the last time you did go to the Super Bowl? I'll wait.
It was the fourth Super Bowl. That was a long time ago. 19.
Justin wasn't even alive back then.
I wasn't even. Super Bowl 4. Pretty sure it was against Green Bay. Was it against Green Bay?
Justin, why the Chiefs gonna win this game?
Why Chiefs are going to win this game? One thing, we're at home. Another thing is, that Patrick Mahomes, man, he's just going to be flinging that ball all around. And our defense has been getting better. The Honey Badger, that line's been getting better. I mean, our pass rush has been getting through the quarterbacks. I mean, we got to the Chargers. We got to fuck with the third quarterback. Fuck. Terrible. What? Yeah. But yeah, we got the. Fuck.
Oh, Jack got the official date for us. This was the last
1968. Yeah, 1968. Yeah.
Just so y'all know.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Bruh.
Anyway.
Y'all ain't been to the Super Bowl since 1968.
Dang, Casey was not 1 year old.
We're gonna be a new dynasty. No, but the Chiefs are gonna win. Tyreek Hill's gonna get a whole bunch of touchdowns. I mean, Travis Kelce. We just gonna win.
Casey, where were you in 1968? About one. You was about 1, right?
I was actually at that game.
He was like 25.
So, Ravens and the Titans. I'm gonna let y'all go first because I got it. I ain't been able to talk about the Ravens all year, and this is the best season we've had like ever, and I ain't even been able to talk about it yet. So I'm gonna go on a rant. I'm probably not. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet so we can get to the Super Bowl predictions because I know who was it? Was it Jack that was waiting on the Super Bowl predictions? I think everybody tuning in is waiting on the Super Bowl predictions. But anyway, Casey.
All right. So I have a friend who's a Titans fan, and I expressed my appreciation to them for eliminating the Patriots. I did.
Did you give a big kiss on the lips?
We full on open mouth made out. It was awesome. But I told him.
Somebody get their mans.
I told him it's gonna be a one and done, because they ain't getting past the Ravens.
I would love it.
What? I ain't never had this side of cases before. Justin. Whoa.
Damn.
Justin,
I would love to see the Titans. Actually, hold on. We lost to the Titans this year, dude. I don't know how we lost that game earlier in the season. I mean, I want to see the Titans actually win this game so we can, have home field advantage, host the AFC Championship. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind actually going to Baltimore and beating you guys.
Have we been playing Baltimore yet? Did we play in Baltimore this year? We did, didn't we?
Yeah, I was in Baltimore.
Last year was an area. That's right.
So, I'm going to say the Ravens are going to win. Ravens win it.
All right. Well, in order to fulfill the prophecy that Lamar Jackson said on draft night when he said they're going to get a Super Bowl out of me, believe that, we got to win this game. And I'm telling you, and I've told everybody who's asked me about this game, yeah, it's gonna be tough because Derrick Henry is a beast. He's a cold beast, as Rabbit would say. But nonetheless, we just gotta stop him. We gotta contain him, and don't let him score. Let him get his yards if he want to get his yards, but don't let him score. Make Ryan Tannehill throw the ball. As much as I love Ryan Tannehill, it's my guy and all, but we gotta. They're gonna meet us at the bank, and we gotta get this win. That's what we gotta do. We can keep time of possession up. Should be a pretty short game since the Titans like to run the ball and we like to run the ball. Should be a pretty short game, but I think the Ravens get the win. We've had 12 games in a row. I think is what we won, which is ridiculous. We haven't lost since we lost to the Browns, and I am telling you that Lamar Jackson is still frustrated, mad, and upset about how San Diego went last year. I can promise you that. He probably thinks about that at night. It probably keeps him up at night until he rights his wrong this year. So I think at worst, we got to get this win, so he can at least take that the playoff stigma off his psyche at least. But Super Bowl predictions. Should we? You can do whatever you want. If you want to go with the conference and then the Super Bowl, cool. If you want to just go straight to the Super Bowl, I mean, go ahead and do it. But, nonetheless, Casey, who you think going to the Super Bowl? What's going to lead up to it and whatnot? Is it going to be a 32-team battle royal?
There should be one person from every team. One person from every team. And
one person from every team, all different positions.
No, I'm going Vikings, Ravens.
Okay. Justin? Wow. I wait a minute. Hold up. Did I hear that right? Did you say Ravens? Who's going to win?
The Vikings, obviously.
I hate you. Justin.
Of course, I'm going to be biased. I got, the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl, and they're going up against the 49ers.
Okay.
And the Chiefs are going to lose.
No.
I would love to see
defense won the championship, so that 49ers defense.
True. So that would mean the 49ers will win, right? I would like to see Ravens Vikings because Kirk Cousins is my guy. He's been my guy since he's been in the state. And obviously Lamar Jackson's got to be my guy because he is that dude, the MVP, Lamar Jackson, big trust. But anyway, I'm going Ravens 49ers, rematch of our previous Super Bowl. And I think it goes the same way. And that means we'd have to beat the 49ers twice.
The lights go out in Miami.
We're going a good run. And the lights go out. No, and it would just be academic that our first win of the season was in Miami, and our last win, the most important win of the season, was in Miami.
A great thing, be, the Chiefs going down the Super Bowl, giving Ryan Fitzpatrick them steaks, giving Casey steaks, I would give Ryan Fitzpatrick a big hug right now because he saved us from playing in the wild card. So
he did. But I think the Ravens win the Super Bowl. That's my Super Bowl champions. I hope so. I think they're gonna play the Chiefs in the conference and obviously beat the Chiefs. We got to get that first win Chiefs at some point, right? And then, even though we just almost said our conference predictions, if we predicted the divisional round anyway, but I think it's going to be the Seahawks and the 49ers, and I think the 49ers shoot through and make it through the Seahawks. But it would be cool to see either one, to be honest. But nonetheless, I guess that's it for the video. I guess that's it, right?
I guess that's it.
We talked about all the things that we need to talk about. But anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed. You can follow us at ICW Podcast. If you got any thoughts on anything, if we didn't get to you in the comments, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys on whatever the next video may be. So bye. I'm going to put a comment up by accident, guys. I'm gonna put